Greetings and welcome to the Bondi Scrapper channel, lock-in version. Today's video we'll be pulling apart some circuit breakers that I dug out of a bin a while back. I don't know why they were being thrown out, but pulled one apart just before, and it was, had a few little bits and pieces in it, so I thought you might like to have a look. What we have is some circuit breakers out of some common household distribution boards, I would assume. And oh, that one there, you can see straight away what the problem is. Let's come up and have a look at that one. That one's got a bit hot. It's melted out a bit, so that's why they've changed that one. And possibly the rest of them were just done because the guy was in there at the time and he couldn't get it over and done with. Some of these are just straight circuit breakers, like that one, which just normal on and off switch, and when you get I think it's a dead short or an overload maybe, it will trigger. And these other ones are they've got safety switches up here, or residual current devices, or whatever the current version is that they're saying you should have in a good circuit board. So let's pull them apart, see what we can find. There's three different types here. They're riveted together generally, and sometimes they're easy aluminium rivets, and other times they're brass ones, like these. I think they're brass, they look brass. It's one of these big fellas which looks like it's a plastic rivet of all things. Let's see. At least it's easy to drill. Put that in the bin, bring the bin up, so I'm not wandering backwards and forwards like a lost soul. Oh, look at that. So that just kind of prizes apart. Give it a bit of a bend. So there we have the innards of one side of it. So there's that'll be part of the switch just there, switching mechanism, and looks like we've got a bit of copper wire there, a few other bits and pieces. Yep, not very technical, but that's what we're dealing with in terms of me and electrics. So let's see what happens when we do this. So I'm in lockdown at the moment, as are all my work colleagues. We're all being told to work from home, self-isolate, etc, etc. I'm not sure how everyone else is going. How are you going if you're locked down? I live by myself, so it's pretty quiet. I've got a couple of grown-up kids that come over once a week for dinner, so that's been good. I've been able to at least see them. I have a significant other, and I'm going over to their place a couple of times a week to say hi. So what do we got here? We've got wires of various types. Got no idea what's in there. Pull that apart later. Pull that apart there. Plastic. A vein of of society, plastic. My eldest daughter is an environmental scientist, and she was saying to me, she said the plastic that was produced when plastic was first produced still exists, because plastic does not break down. So if you can be the person that comes up with a way of recycling plastic, I think you might make $1 off too. So don't know what that is, we'll come back to that. That's strip bare that can go in the bin. This bit here is almost strip bare. What have we got? What we'll do is we'll cut. So that goes, way, lost it, gone behind the workbench. We'll never see that again, maybe in about 20 years time. More plastic. Take these switches out because there'll be a little plastic, little spring in behind them. Another bit of plastic gone. And let's get the magnet out. Yep, they're mild steel. So they go in the a mild steel bin. Let's have a look at that. I think I've mentioned before I use microwaves as garbages, and that's pretty well what happens. So all the back bit where all the electronics is already full of bits of steel and bits of metal bearing items that aren't worth stripping or too hard to strip, and yeah, so that'll weigh about 40 or 50 kilos by the time I've finished. Let's get you back up there. More plastic, another little bit of mild steel spring in behind there. More plastic. That's that bit done. Now I've lost my little magnet. There it is. So those two little clips there, they'll be stainless steel. I doubt they're brass, but I'm sure they're stainless steel. So I'll put the mild steel down in this corner. Plastic. The connectors, steel. That's where the wires went in. Tighten up the screw. More mild steel. More mild steel. Definitely mild steel. That's the, I'll call it the contact. It's probably the incorrect term, but good enough for us guys. Mild steel there. That bit went flying. Tiny little bit of probably brass just there, maybe. Just that one done. And yeah, so there was a little, I hope I got this right. Oh, dropped one. Oh, we're losing it all today. So kept the mild steel. There's a bit of brass, little brass screw that's fallen down somewhere. Such is life. There we go, that one there. Get rid of some more as we go along. Mild steel. Oh, found him. There's little brass screw or nut there. Wow. That's our total brass haul so far. How do we get this apart? When in doubt, there we go. That'll be stainless steel too. Little hinge, little pivot pin. And it's screwed in. I can unscrew that in a minute. There's a because that will be brass. That bit there, bit of silver brass, and another little spring, which will be mild steel. Yep. Bit of plastic. Pull that apart in a minute. A little bit of copper wire, which I'll just put in as number 2, or burnt copper. Put in there. Now these things are always deceiving. I've done a couple of these before. So that'll be mild steel. And this lovely looking thing that looks like it's copper could well be not copper. Yeah, that sticks to that. So that's steel, that bit's not there. And they're all just kind of soldered together, so you can put this up there, put that with your steel bits. It's a nice bit of burnt copper there, or coated copper. So how do we get that to bits? Snip him off, just there. Tilt it out from its little bracket. Let's see what the bracket is. Oh, steel, steel, not steel. So something so I can get a decent grip on it. Give it a twist. Give it a twist, flick of the wrist. Brass, yellow plumber's brass, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, so how's everyone going with this, with their lockdowns? You going nuts? Plastic. So yeah, a bit of a curled up bit of copper wire there, burnt copper. Yeah, spring thing steel, it can go there. Then we had this nightmare of wires. So what do we got? A little resistor there. You can go on the steel, that'll go in the steel bin. Got a bit of copper wire. Cut him off. This bit here, that'll be brass. Chop him off for the brass bin. We'll peel that copper off if you can get enough purchase on it. Gotcha, or not. Should have got some other items for holding brass area. Something in there, don't know what, have a look later. It's a bit of nasty stuff. Just put that in with steel because it's just contaminated brass by the looks of it. Same with this bit. Some stuff, and if it's covered in solder, it's just not worth it. Chop that bit off. It's all solder and horrible stuff. Put copper wire there. This is all going through a ferrite choke, I think they call it. Ferrite, which is a form of mild steel, iron, or whatever you want to call it. Let's see. Ah, yeah, look at that. Yeah, there was something there. So, a very nice piece of braided copper for the copper area. Bit of undoing to be done here. I suppose you could just cut it off and get multiple pieces if you really wanted to. That's all burnt copper, windings copper. It's got a lacquered coating on it, so that's why it's not bare bright. And yep, that's the ferrite core that can go straight into the light iron bin. What's this thing? I have no idea. No. I can hear something in there. Okay, got it. Oh, fancy. It's a little relay. So I don't know whether it's focusing or not, but there's a little bit of copper there, so I'll put that aside and probably pull that apart while I'm watching TV during the week. Tiny little bit of brass on there. Yeah, it's a little relay. So here's a straight breaker. Should be quite simple. Here's a little clip that holds it onto the bus bar, I guess you'd call it, or the mounting bar. Mild steel. So what's happening, these are just aluminium rivets, but they're turning, which is not helping the removal process. Let's see, we've got a slightly part there. Put a screwdriver in somewhere. You always get the one that fights you. So a bit of aluminium there, put that aside. Yes, I keep things that small, throw them in a big tub. Oh, and you can see where this one's arced out a bit. All the black stuff, so it's arced out a bit in somewhere along the line. Either someone's been flicking the switch open and closed, I guess, or more likely it's had a big surge through it. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know this stuff. Just make it up. make it up as I go along. Have a bit of a guess. Hooray! Hooray! So there's the inside of that. Various bits and pieces. There's not going to be a huge haul of money or anything like that out of there. Stainless steel. Our little stainless steel things. That should be, even though it's got that lovely look of copper and brass, I'm betting that'll be steel. Yep. Don't know why they. That must be just like a copper coating or something like that, I guess, just to stop it from corroding. Straight in the bin. Mild steel. Undo that. More mild steel. Mild steel. Nice bit of brass. Take the tail off. You could probably leave it there. Scrap dealer wouldn't mind. Bit of copper in, bit of extra copper in among the brass. Brass is just copper and tin, I think. Just up. Yeah, I'll zoom it. Just a cord. I will fit. Try to get it up. It's like this. Like this. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. I'll do. Bit of burnt copper. Oh, that's disappointment. That's mild steel. Gosh. The final bit. Hope. Maybe. No, that little pivot doesn't want to come out. Yeah, that's a bit of brass. And there is all mild steel, so it can go on the mild steel pile. It's the second one done. So, two of them. What do we got? We've got that. Bit of windings copper, burnt copper. A tiny bit that I'll be able to sneak in with Bare Bright. Bit of brass, yellow brass, white brass. Bit of stainless, and that little relay to pull to bits. So, I don't know, that was okay. So there we have it, circuit breakers of various types, and a bit of wire, a bit of copper, a bit of brass, a lot of steel, lots of plastic. So yeah, not a lot to be had there. Probably could have just thrown them into shred, but hey, it's good fun to pull things apart. And thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. like, hit that like button. Please hit that like button. Leave a comment if you want, and subscribe so that you get notified, or so that it pops up on your feed. Ring the bell. There's a bell button there. Hit that one and you'll actually get a notification, I think, to tell you that it's all happened and there's a new video. I try and put them out every Friday at 6 AM, one a week. Let's see how that goes, and thank you for watching. Bye.